We're recording too frequently. Did you hit the button the same time I did? Maybe that's what it was.
What's up?
Well, whatever. Peace and blessings, party people. We are back yet again. Sutton and Lace, the founder and the co-founder of the Flavor Room, TFR in the building. The only invite-only curated system for diverse leaders and entrepreneurs of color. Let's get it. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about the Flavor Fit call. Ooh, yes. A phone call, a virtual chat, actually talking to people eyeball to eyeball and getting to know them. What a novel idea in the online business space, right? So actually, this topic came at the request of a mentor. They said we would love to hear more about the Flavor Fit call. And the reason for that is sometimes there can be a lot of friction with getting on calls these days, especially since so many people have been, I guess you could say, jaded and burned out in many ways when it comes to hopping on calls. People getting them on coffee chats, tea time, slumber parties, discovery calls, all the things. And then they get on the call and there's a bait and switch that takes place. Trust is built and then trust is lost at the same time. So I completely understand why people would kind of be hesitant to get on a call these days, but there's a method to our madness. There's a reason why we do that. And that's what we want to share with you today, to give you a inside look as to not only why we do the Flavor Fit call, but what happens on the call. So what is the Flavor Fit call? It is a conversation. It is a conversation focused on you and your business so that we can find out more about you, who you are, where you're at in your business, and whether or not the Flavor Room would be something that would benefit you. That's really all it is. Like we said yesterday, it is what it is on the tin, and it's the same with the Flavor Fit call. It's not to get you on there and, try to sell you something, because the Flavor Room sells itself, quite honestly. We don't really have to do anything. And it's not something to try to upsell you into, this deep, dark, murky, top secret coaching program. None of that BS is going on. It's a conversation to see if you're a fit. This is why we call it a Flavor Fit call. This is a two-way dialogue. Okay. You're going to be able to ask us questions. We're going to ask you questions, and it's all going to be gravy, and it's going to be a great experience, whether or not the Flavor Room is in your future or not. So let's talk about the purpose. Okay, why would we choose to do a call for a membership model, right? The reason for that is because this is invite only. When we say invite only, it is not a marketing gimmick. It is not something to, again, rope you in and then do some bait and switch behind the scenes. It is not that. We want to know who is interested in our spaces. We want to have that conversation. We also want the data. We want to know the insights on people who are sniffing around our stuff, because that helps us not only refine our messaging and enhance our positioning. So that's the purpose of the call, to get to know you, but to get those marketing insights as well. The call is, just 30 minutes tops, and it's a super laid back conversation. How you see us presenting here is the exact same way we present in the Flavor Fit call. There is no, mask that we're wearing, or we're putting on a wig and a clown suit and coming on completely differently. What you see here is always going to be what you get. So why do we have the Flavor Fit call? Well, as I said earlier, we are an invite-only ecosystem. So we have standards in place, and we have people that are already inside the Flavor Room that we protect. Okay, when we say we protect, that space is sacred. So we don't want just anybody and everybody up in there. That's why we need to get eyeball to eyeball. And quite honestly, if you're at the point where you're considering to get on a Flavor Fit call, or you've already been on a Flavor Fit call with us, you don't want to be in a space with anybody and everybody anyways. That's one of the things that attracts you to the flavor room, because you know that we are invite only. And we mentioned yesterday about standards. This is a part of our standards. The consistency that everybody talks about, we're showing you how that looks real time by saying, hey, we're invite only, but guess what? That means you have to get on a call with us so we can discuss with you, so you can discuss with us, so we can see whether or not both sides are going to move forward with an invitation to the flavor room. It's that simple. We have standards that we uphold. We're all about integrity in real time. And that means that we need to make sure that not only our members are protected, but also what we have created inside of the flavor room is also protected. So that is the purpose of the call. That is why we have it. Lace, do you want to tell them about what happens during the call?
Yes. So what happens during the call? Are we here to strong arm you and, wave magic wands and make you do stuff you don't want to do? No, absolutely not. The call is really simple. It's informal. We wear t-shirts on them. And all we do is ask you some simple questions. We want to get to know you, who you are, who do you serve, what do you do in your business, how long have you been in business, and ask you about, your experiences of networking and other communities that you may have been part of or are part of, and that kind of stuff. It's really simple, easy questions and no trick questions. It's all stuff you're going to know because it's all about you and what you do. So that's basically it. And then if that feels like, okay, yeah, this is feeling aligned for us and what we're rolling with in the flavor room, we're going to ask you, hey, do you want to learn more about what the flavor room is? And we'll tell you. You can ask your questions. And if you are interested in potentially becoming a member and that feels good to us, we'll invite you right there and then. And we'll walk you through what membership looks like. We'll give you all the prices up front. Nothing is hidden. And then you can just make that decision right there and then and jump right in. And if it's not a fit, we may signpost you to somewhere else that is. But that is basically the call. It's very, very simple. It's very informal. It's not scary at all.
Thank you, Lace, for emphasizing the fact that it's not scary. And we are not scary.
No.
Like, if you've been binging our lives, like, you might as well just go ahead and book the call, because this is what you're going to get. What you see and what you hear is literally what you get. In fact, we just finished a Flavor Fit call, didn't we, Lace? Right before jumping on here, and we welcomed a brand new member inside the Flavor Room. Were you going to say something? You look like you had some words that needed to come forth. Okay.
Yeah. It was that simple. We had that conversation. Yeah. It went really well. We were really happy with what we were hearing. This lady seemed like she's on it. She's brilliant. And we felt like we could support her. She wanted that support. And she came.
And she was happy. She was excited. She was not strong-armed into anything. She wasn't manipulated. She wasn't gaslit. None of those things happened. It was a conversation. And she asked her questions, which were brilliant questions, by the way. And we all decided to move forward. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yes. So what happens after the call? Lace touched on this a little bit. What happens after the call? We've already decided to move forward with the flavor room, or we have decided not to. Either way, you will not leave the call with any questions. It won't be open-ended. So the loops will be closed, whether or not you're invited to the flavor room and you choose to accept or not. That's pretty much it. So I want to segue, Lace, into some things that may be coming up for everyone when they're hearing, first of all, whoa, okay, the flavor room is a membership model, but I got to get on a call. What is this? That's unheard of, right? Nobody does that because everybody's doing butts and seats. Yeah, as long as everyone's breathing and have a credit card, then they can come in, right? Come one, come all, right? But we don't do that. So we understand that that can be like mind bending, that we have a gate at our front doors saying, okay, the way behind our doors is to get on a Flavor Fit call with us. So if you're like, wait, I don't want to get on a call, can you just send me over to the website? You can most certainly go over to the website. It's posted all over our socials, but guess what? When you go to the website, only way to move forward is to book a call. So you are either down with the call or you're not. It's that simple. If the call is repelling to you, the flavor room is not going to be a fit for you. And
Absolutely.
we're okay with that because there's plenty of people who are totally okay with the call. And that's who we're here to connect with. So the next one is why a call for a membership model? I think I've pretty much answered that. This is a membership model. Okay, the way we've structured it is in a membership, but this is not a membership. So I think that's something that needs to be very clear. It's not a membership from the standpoint of what everyone is used to, where you're stuffed in a Zoom room and a bunch of dusty videos are stuffed down your throat, and you maybe know who runs the membership, you maybe not. It doesn't matter because, yeah, you're just getting videos and stuff. This is not that at all. We are not a networking thingy. We are not a mastermind. We are not a coaching bubble. We are not, what else are we are not? We're not a membership from what you understand to be a membership. We're none of those things. Well, what is the Flavor Room? The Flavor Room, again, is a invite-only curated ecosystem for diverse leaders and entrepreneurs of color. There is nothing else like it ever or now, such as the Flavor Room. People are trying, but that's not going to work out for them long-term. So the Flavor Room is unique. So I really can't give you a side-by-side comparison because there's nothing like the Flavor Room. There's not a box you can put it into, just like yourself. You can't be put into a box.
And they've tried to put us into boxes.
Yeah.
I know I felt like I needed to get into a box. Like, no, it has to be like this, or it has to be like that. Well, we broke all of the rules, and that's why we can't box ourselves up and say, hey, well, it's a bit like this, and it's not. You won't find anything else. And the reason for that pull is that actually starts to pull you out of the box that you've put yourself into. You know, that is the first step to get out of the box where you've been told you have to be like this, you have to sell like that, you have to do this like this, and this is the blueprint for that. We don't do any of that stuff. And the first step to getting out of the box, which you may not even realize you put yourself in until you come and talk to us, is actually jumping on that call. That brings you out of the box. And if you're not willing to have that call, then you are not ready to get out of it.
Yeah, and that's okay. Stay in your box. Stay in your box and let the rest of us be outside of the box and do what we need to do to lead forward. So there's a couple of other things that I think may come up for people, and that is, are you going to try to sell me something? We've said this a couple of times here on the live, and I'm going to say it again. No, we don't need to sell you anything. We are 100% rock solid with what we're doing, so we don't need to sell you anything. You know, this is for your benefit.
It sells
right?
itself.
For your benefit. What's that?
So if you want to buy something, that's generally what happens. How do I get involved? But no, we're not here to try and shove anything down your throat or any of that kind of stuff.
No, we don't need to. Especially at, you know, the price point. Why would we strong arm you from $37 a month? That is asinine. You know, we respect you, we respect our time, and we also respect ourselves and what we built with the Flavor Room. So there's not going to be any of that BS around here. And the last thing is, why is this so intense and structured? Well, because this is intentional. It is intentional. And quite frankly, with all the riffraff that everyone complains about, and I'm sure you've complained about it too, that's why. Because we are setting the standard. And you cannot have all the nice things that people say they want to have in business, the referrals, the collaborations, the connections, you know, relationships and things that actually go places where people are mentioning your names in rooms that you're not even in, where people are sharing your content, where people are so excited about your brand and what you're doing that they are advocates for your brand and telling people about it. All of those, you know, wet dreams entrepreneurs have we've built with the flavor room. So that is why we are so intense and structured. And that is why the Flavor Fit call is in place. So if you like what you're hearing, if you desire to have these things for yourself and your business, and you really want to get plugged into a space that wants to elevate you and see you shine, and has the capacity and the care to actually help you get there, you need to book a Flavor Fit call.
Everything you need is in the comments. You know what to do.
You know what to do. And I think that wraps it up, Lace. We're about to hop off of here and go to our monthly brainstorming session for the Flavor Room. Yes, that is how we roll. That is how much care and intent we put inside of each and every component of the Flavor Room, that we actually have brainstorming session for our Flavor Room members.
Yes, we do.
So if you're like, ooh, what's that?
So we're going to hop off and enjoy that very shortly.
We're going to hop off and enjoy that. And if that has piqued your curiosity that we have those types of things, you need to book that call.
Enough said. See you later.
Right.